This video I'm going to explain to you the concept of spaces in your rope dart practice. Spaces can be used to classify reps. This video is going to help you better understand reps and hopefully is going to make you be able to improvise your own reps. Without further ado, I'll start. After learning the concept of spaces from a video by Wildfire Retreats, it really opened my eyes to what reps are and how it can be used and how I can improvise my own. This spaces theory also follows along closely to Frank Hetz's dart path theory that he explains in his book Traditional and Modern Rope. One side of my body is called the anchor side. This is where the rope is anchored to my hands. The other side of my body is called the lead side. This is the side with the hand that's leading the rope. Imagine endless sticks going upwards from my body parts. My head, my anchor arm, my anchor leg, my lead leg and my lead arm. Now we're going to talk about the spaces. The spaces are everything between these body parts. So we got the anchor face, anchor arm space. Then we got the anchor leg, anchor arm space. Then we got the anchor leg, lead leg space. Then we got the lead leg, lead arm space. And then we got the lead face, lead arm space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. For any type of rep to happen, the rope dart travels into these spaces. The space can be entered either through the front or the space can be entered from the back. It goes for all spaces. These 5 spaces are going to be there no matter how I move my body. The spaces may go bigger, this one becomes bigger, and this one becomes smaller, but the spaces is still there. I can do just about any move, but the spaces are still going to remain the same. I'm going to wrap my lead arm to use as an example. Okay, we now got a loop going around my lead arm. I'm holding the rope with my anchor hand and my thumb. Now to explain the spaces, we're going to follow the path the rope takes. It's starting in my anchor hand, as always. It's going into the lead leg and lead arm space from the front. Now to follow the dart path, I'll turn around. It's coming over my shoulder and it's entering my lead face, lead arm space from the back. You can wrap all these body parts. The rope can be on any place on this body part. So it could be in the armpit, and it could also be on the wrist, but the spaces stay the same. I'll show you a quick example by wrapping my lead arm again. We just learned that for a lead arm wrap, when you do it like this, the rope is going to travel to the lead leg, lead arm space. It's entering from the front, and then from the back it's entering the lead face, lead arm space. Back to my anchor hand. But now, if I were to do a wrist wrap, as you can see, the placement of the rope is very different, but the spaces stay the same. So it's still entering in the lead leg, lead arm space from the front, and it's entering the lead face, lead arm space from the back. You can do the same thing with the leg. The rope travels into the anchor leg, lead leg space. It's entering it from the front, and it's entering the lead leg, lead arm space from the back. Now I have wrapped my foot. It's still going through the same spaces, but it's lower on the limb. So the rope can be here or it can be low. The next thing to notice is some body parts can bend. You got your anchor arm that can turn into an anchor elbow, your lead arm turn into the lead elbow, Your anchor leg can turn into an anchor knee, and your lead leg can turn into a lead knee. I can now wrap the bent body parts. I'll show an elbow wrap. Now, as you can see, the rope is wrapping the elbow. Now, if we look at the spaces it's traveling through, it's going into the lead leg, lead arm space from the front, and from the back it's entering the lead face, lead arm space. So, even if body parts are bent, they still travel through the same spaces as if they were straight. The direction they enter the space and the order they enter the space all determine the type of wrap you can make. I'll show a quick example. The rope is now wrapping my lead leg. The rope dart travels through the anchor leg, lead leg space, and it's coming in from the front, and it's entering the lead leg, lead arm space from the back. This is called a saddle wrap. So, this looks the same, but it's very different. We're going to follow the path of the dart again, starting from my anchor hand. It's going in the opposite direction. So first it's entering the lead leg, lead arm space from the front, and then it's entering the anchor leg, lead leg space from the back. Now we got a holster wrap. Now that you've learned about the 5 spaces, and now you can enter each space from the front and the back, you can start wrapping each body part by yourself. Remember that the rope can be around any part of your limb, either high or low. But when you wrap a body part, please notice you want to keep the rope as tight as possible. It's called slack control, and it's really going to help you control the rope dart. So you pull it tight after each of these moves. You want to go back to the position where you keep everything tight, no matter the type of wrap you do. Always keep the rope tight. And you have learned the spaces, and you have learned what possibilities you got to make single wraps. You also want to be able to get out of these wraps. I'm going to show you a quick example using this lead side saddle wrap. I'm in home position on the downward swing. I'm going to lift my lead leg and catch it with my lead hand. I'm going to use my anchor hand. I'm going to pull everything tight. I'm going to stop this one for a second so you can see the dart path. It's going into my anchor leg, lead leg space. It's going in from the front, and then it's going through the lead leg, lead arm space, and it's entering that space from the back. Now we basically just want to reverse these steps. So we want to go back into the lead leg, lead arm space, but this time from the front, and then we want to enter the anchor leg, lead leg space from the back. Now we're swinging in this direction, and you want to go into this space. The easiest way to achieve that is by doing a 180 step. So we got a line on the floor, we're going to step the other direction, and you might have noticed that now the direction of my spin is changing. It went from a downward spin, stepping, to an upward spin. And now it's very easy to follow the path of the rope out again. So 2 steps back, and now you are free. By following the dart's path backwards through the spaces, and by 180 stepping you can change the direction of the spin, and you can release any wrap. Some more examples. Lead arm wrap, tight, 180 step, and 3. Anchor leg rep, keep it tight, 180 step. I hope this video about spaces has helped you understand reps a little bit better, and that it helps you get onto the path of experimenting by yourself. I hope I see you in the next video that's going to talk about techniques that let you quickly change spaces, and I want to do another video about stacking reps, and it's also going to include the spaces journey. Thank you very much for watching.